The excellent TV series Thapki Pyar Ki usually made to give goosebumps to the observers with its never-moving dilemma action, and presently the enormous crux of the show is to showcase in the current episodes that Bihaan brings artists home while puja is going on and hits the dance floor with the young ladies. Dadi requests that Thapki stops Bihaan and says, "I know you are not Vani, but rather Thapki." Actually, Bihaan tells God that whatever he did with Thapki wasn't right, and now today what he is going to do is likewise off base. He apologizes and says today everybody will realize that she is my Thapki. Where in the last episode, Bihaan tells everybody that he will give troublesome liner to visitor and requests that she speaks Pake Pe Paka Papita liner, and Thapki is stunned.Where in the latest episode, Bihaan brings artists home while puja is going on and hits the dance floor with the young ladies. Dadi requests that Thapki stops Bihaan and says, "I know you are not Vani, but rather Thapki.Thapki gets weepy eyes. Bihaan inquires as to why she is weepy eyes. Thapki says she is feeling terrible for Thapki and says she wouldn't have gone a long way from you when you was with her after her mishap. Bihaan says Thapki is not a long way from me, but rather close me, and you will acknowledge this soon." He clears out. Thapki cries. Lo Mon Lia hum plays. Bihaan is smashed and feels terrible. Thapki supposes, "I will never acknowledge your words. Thapki is lost for always, from you and myself. I will make your conviction and you will acknowledge it." Next morning, Bihaan asks Surbhai what she is doing. She says she is taking some folks' interviews. Kosi says for occupation. Thapki says no, and says for marriage. Kosi asks whose marriage? Thapki says my marriage. Preeti and Suman are stunned as well. Thapki takes the meeting and tells that she needs the man who can do an activity, he ought not to be quite instructed, needs the Desi man who can communicate in Hindi. She rejects three folks first. Bihaan looks on irate. Surbhai inquires as to whether he can move. Thapki inquires as to whether he can move Bhangra, Najin, and so on. The man is stunned. Preeti says she needs mannequin who can move on her tune. Thapki requests that Surbhai makes the person drink wine. Fellow says, "I don't drink." Thapki rejects everybody. Surbhai says Swayamvar is over. Vani says she needs fellow of her decision. Sankara tells that Bihaan has every one of the qualities which Thapki needs, and go to God to keep Bihaan for her, as it were.